So it's now finally time and we got to get dirty. We got to get it in the ground and we got to get it in the ground quick. Good morning. You're out here with Homesteading with Blue Sky Ranch and I am working hard this morning to plant my market garden, the first early crops. I got Coco here as my helper. So yesterday I showed you how I rototilled my garden and put in the lines that I'm going to be planting today. So when it comes to planting potatoes, I keep mine in my garage in 5-gallon buckets. I do not wash them, and I have never had a disease or any rot on my potatoes. I let them go to seed, the ones I don't eat, and those are the ones we're going to plant today. I plant them whole. I do not cut them. I drop the potatoes right in the ground, approximately 1 per foot. So here we go. So when it comes to planting potatoes, you want to make sure that they all have a nice eye on them. You can see these have beautiful eyes on them. And there's no rot, because if you put them in the ground and you have rain, they would just rot or attract bugs and you won't get any growth out of them. These are perfect. I have no rot, they're not soft, lots of good eyes. So the next tool I have made is a piece of wood. I've got this marked out for my seeds. 6 inches, 12 inches where the dots are, and 16 inches. So today, just for simplicity, because I have so many potatoes, I'm going to lay this in the ground and I'm going to plant my potatoes 16 inches apart. So what I'm doing here is I've pushed one potato into the ground there. You can see them. Here's my piece of wood. Then I'm going to drop another potato right there. And just to make this faster, because I'm doing multiple rows, 2 rows, I'm going to just go right across and I'm going to set one there. And I'm going to go straight across from here and set another one there. Then I move my stick. I am going to do this all the way down to 100 feet is where I end this row. So I just finished planting my 2 100-foot rows of purple potatoes. I used every one up in this bucket and it was almost full. In this entire 5-gallon bucket, there was only one that was soft and rotten and I threw it out. What I want to tell you is, if you don't have potato starts locally at a co-op, which is where these came from about 5 years ago, I bought these at a local cooperative farm store. And I've been able to keep this variety, the Majestics, going for 5 years for free. When it costs you, I don't know, for 6 potato starts, it could cost you over $3. So I just had a whole 5-gallon bucket full for free. Keep these in your garage or a cool place over the winter. I do not wash them. I do sort them to make sure there's nothing moldy when I put them in the 5-gallon buckets, but I do not wash them. They just come out of the ground just like that. Now, if your soil was wet, that would be different. But my soil when I harvest these was dry, and there was no clumps of soil left on them that would cause rot. If you can't find potato starts at your local cooperatives or farm and feed stores, you can go with an organic potato from the grocery store. These would probably also be disease-free and wouldn't be treated with any chemicals to inhibit their growth. Another thing I want to say was, when you're planting potatoes, I just dump them in. The eyes are going to find their way up through the soil into the sun naturally. Let me tell you, there's no potato farmers out there that are making sure that all the eyes are pointed upward. Now, if you're only planting a small amount, sure, go ahead. It'll make it easier for them. But me, I'm just dumping them in there, and now we're going to cover them up. Potatoes like to be mounded with soil. So I either use a rake or a hoe to put the dirt back over the potato, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Now, because I have such a huge garden, I like to do things in the fast and easiest way as possible. I don't have the most perfect straight lines. My gardening, it may turn some people off because it's not perfect, but the produce I can get out of this space is enough for several families. And I'm doing it by not killing myself off. So hence I showed you how I drug the lines to plant everything, and they're pretty straight, but it's really hard to drive completely straight in a square. You think it'd be easier, but it's not. Also, if you hit a rock, the tines will jump and I might get a little squiggle here and there. But if you really want them perfectly straight, you drag them by hand, but it's just too much work. It's too much earth to move. So the easiest way for me now to cover up these potatoes I use is a big contractor's rake. And I'm going to show you how I just mound it up. I'm going to pull soil from one way, and then I'm going to push it this way. I'm going to push, and I'm going to pull. Push and pull. Now, as these potatoes grow bigger, I can go up around them with a hoe or a my hands and push a little earth around them, but I really shouldn't have to. Last year I didn't, and they were perfect. We want to get, at least 2 to 3 inches of soil over them for now, and then as those eyes come up, I can add more. So another thing you can tell from the push-pull method is that it's left a nice trough down the middle. That is great for irrigating. So I'm going to go ahead and do my third and fourth row of potatoes. So we're going to have 4 rows of 100 feet of potatoes planted. So I am done planting 4 rows of 100 feet of potatoes. And that was 2 5-gallon buckets full. I do overseed because last year I did have our ground squirrels go in there and eat all the potato starts. Plants grew beautiful, but when you'd harvest them or pull up the plant, there was no potatoes at all. They were gone. So I overplant because I know that I'm going to have to share. I'm going to have to share with everything that lives here. And we have plenty of varmints, including a Coco.